Hey everyone, Needs More Drums here, back in City Skylines 2 in our 100% vanilla region of Grand Keys. In the last episode, we completed a large affordable housing project and increased density in a nearby neighborhood. These new residents, however, are struggling to find work. Today, we're going to fix that by building a large industrial complex near the rail depot, and we'll use the tax income from these new businesses to invest in improved communications infrastructure for the city. Let's jump in and get started. All right, and hello everyone. Welcome back to Percussiona in our region of Grand Keys, and today we have another exciting episode planned. So, since the last episode, the most recent City Skylines 2 update has been released, and I spent a little bit of time just letting the game run, kind of seeing, what happens, if it's gonna make or break the city. And to my surprise, it actually made things a bit better. I don't really know why, but our income increased by nearly $500,000 a month. We were making about 600 some thousand, and now we're at 1.1 million. However, our unemployment rate also significantly increased, right about 18%, which that's why today's focus is going to be the industrial park. This is kind of also in response to my most recent post from a few weeks ago, where I kind of try to get some feedback about what projects we should focus on next. And the winner was this housing project and everything, and then after that I figured I would want to get to this industrial park because we need jobs for all the new residents, and population has been increasing. We're almost at 30,000, so we're trying to increase the availability of jobs in the area. But just a couple of funny things. I noticed that this won't be a focus in this episode, but definitely in the near future, we're going to have a transit-oriented episode, because look at the amount of people that are waiting for the buses. I mean, this is ridiculous. I think this bus terminal has like over 1,000. At one point, it had 1,000 passengers waiting, and I think there's a bus stop somewhere over here or something that had like 600 people waiting at it. So we're definitely going to need to work on our public transit a little bit. We kind of, put down some bus networks a while ago and then just kind of forgot about them, and have been expanding the city quite a bit, and we haven't returned to kind of check those. So we'll get that done in a later episode, but just wanted to bring that to your attention. And then finally, I noticed that like traffic is a pretty big issue. There's a lot of spots where traffic is kind of popping up, and we're getting a lot of traffic jams, especially like this main road here. So one, hopefully public transit will help alleviate that. And two, if it doesn't, I think I have some ideas about how we can improve the traffic situation in a few of these areas. As I've kind of been saying in the past couple episodes, this whole central Percussiona area is kind of prone to some pretty significant redevelopment as we increase densities. We start adding some high rises and things. So, we'll slowly work to improve some of the road hierarchy in this area, and add some transit and everything, and some alternative ways for people to get around. So, With that being said, the focus of today's episode is going to be this industrial park over here. And the reason that I'm choosing to put it over here is that this is going to be kind of a second big city for us. We have a lot of land, just a lot of flat area to build something pretty significant. And, we have the highway running through here. We have power running through here. So this is going to be a great spot to kind of, build a pretty big development, I think. So we'll talk about that in the near future, but this industrial park is going to kind of serve as the bridge between Percussiona and whatever this city is going to be. And something that I might also do today that I didn't mention in the intro, or probably in the thumbnail or the title of the video, we'll see. But I'm thinking about building a power plant, because I'm looking at this area here, and our power situation is terrible. We're importing a ton of electricity. And, we haven't done anything for power since we built this coal power plant in the very beginning of the city. So I think it would be really cool to build I'm thinking about a gas power plant like right here. This is prime location. The wind is blowing this way, so it won't pollute our city. And then we can kind of serve, use this as like the cornerstone of this industrial park. We'll have this big power plant, and then we'll have a bunch of, industry kind of scattered around. And the goal today, I'm not really trying to expand this outside of this tile. So I think we're just going to sit in this tile. We're going to, build all of our industry within this footprint, and just kind of expand, at a later point. And then finally, sorry for the long intro, but finally, we're going to reinvest some of our additional income from, that we've been making since the update and that we're going to be making from the new industrial zones, we're going to reinvest some of that into communications infrastructure because, again, that is something that is severely lacking. I think we have one small post office. We have one small radio tower, and that is literally all that we have in terms of, cellular and radio communication. So that's bad. That's actually unacceptable, especially given the fact that we have so much disposable income, and I've just totally ignored this communications and everything. And people are happy, but I think that it would be way better if we can add some additional internet and communication services, into the city. And so we might use some progression nodes here. We have, the telecom tower, we have the server farm. I think, all of this would be very, very useful, especially we can, put this in an industrial park over here and have a nice little area for that. So we'll plan that out. We'll think about it, but let's go ahead and jump in and get started with the build. All right, so the first thing we're going to do here is kind of lay out some guideline roads. So again, with this region, I've been trying to use a little bit of the Jeffersonian grid. It's been a little bit tough because this is not there's not a lot of flat buildable land in these areas that allow for, or in this map per se, that allow for this massive, these massive grids that you see in like the states and everything. So I've been trying my best, and what we're gonna do is just, we'll make it work. I'm just gonna kind of start here, and we'll see. We can drag this out just along this road here, or along the tile's edge. And actually, I was gonna use those guidelines, but I think I'm gonna not do that because it might not work the way that I want it to. Yeah, and so for now we'll do something like this. And the reason that this is kind of helpful is because now we have sort of a template of where I could put, a main road. And so presumably this is going to be some kind of highway connection here. And I actually could, which I don't see why I shouldn't do this. I'm just going to go ahead and like do this now and just make this into a state, a state highway, like a rural highway. And I know that I can't, do a bunch of stuff with this interchange here because of the restriction of, being outside of the tiles. But at the very least, we can have a little connection here to serve as another way for traffic to get into this industrial park, which the main way is going to be through this higher capacity interchange here. But it always helps to have a couple of additional connection points. And eventually, again, this is super temporary. We're going to probably elevate this and make this into a whole interchange because we'll have this train track coming through here. So we won't want to have an at-grade crossing right after a highway connection. So, we'll probably elevate this whole thing, have a bridge over here, have the train go underneath it. But for now, we'll drag out this. We have this main road, and I like the diagonal aspect of this road. I think it's, something a little bit different. It'll serve as an interesting template for us. And so for this, I'll just, drag this through here for now. I'll probably, what? Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to do this now. We're going to eliminate an at-grade crossing for this area because this is going to be a main road. We don't want any kind of at-grade crossing, for this track here, since there's going to be a lot of truck traffic. It's really going to slow things down. So let's go ahead and just build a little overpass over this railroad track for right now. Yeah, and again, this is going to be super, super temporary. So my plan here is going to be to, expand this road just like straight through here, or it might even turn into this this kind of county road here. It'll connect up here, and then we'll have this just be a continuation of that. So for now, I just wanted to get this connection in. So again, cars could use this in a functional way, but this is not going to stay like this. So don't worry, those turns are only temporary because that looks horrendous. But anyway, yeah, so in terms of the power plant, so I do want to put a power plant here. I've decided that we have the money, we have the space, might as well do it. So I'm thinking right about here. So if we notice the power connection is on currently the bottom right, that's where we're going to connect our high tension power lines, which works out because that's where this, is kind of naturally headed anyway. So we're going to flatten out this area and then probably just put it right here. So I think what I might do now is actually delete a lot of the trees around here, since this is going to be a huge, project, and, everything's going to get pretty much developed. So I'm going to flatten this out, do a little bit of terrain work, get this whole area prepped for the power plant and the industrial park. So let me just go ahead and jump in and do that real quick. All right, so thinking about where I want this power plant to go, I think this is going to be a pretty good spot. I didn't want to do a ton more terrain work here, and I think this is going to be nice. We can surround it with some trees, kind of have it right on the edge of the city here. So let's just go ahead and place this down. It was a huge investment for us, but it's going to pay off. It's definitely going to pay off. This is going to be perfect. So we don't have a water connection or a sewer connection. So actually, I'm just going to go ahead and turn this building off right now. And we'll get that all together, obviously, once we connect up these roads. All right, so I went ahead and just dragged out some of these roads here. Presumably, we're going to put just some regular industrial buildings here. I don't think that we actually need parking for this power plant, because it looks like we have quite a bit. And, we figure that there's going to be shifts. There's 100 employees, and it seems like there's, an adequate number of spots for the amount of employees per shift. Just looking at some of these extensions, so these don't have to be attached to the building, which is awesome. So we can kind of put, some of these here. You put this additional turbine. We could put it right in the footprint. And then all of these are just, basic, they don't take up any space at all. So we definitely have some storage extension space available right near the power plant. So I probably won't build anything here. And we'll leave this open for future use if needed. But yeah, that is looking pretty good right now, I gotta say. And I like where we put this. And oh man, there's some terrible accident here. And oh my gosh, do we have a sewer issue? It looks like. I wonder if we don't have enough. Yep, I figured that would happen. So let's go ahead and up our budget a little bit. This should fix the issue. Actually, we could probably go a little bit more. There we go. That seems a little bit better for now. That's another thing we need to start thinking about, is an additional water treatment facility. So that's going to be really important for us as well. But yeah, so we got that done for now. So I think the next logical thing to do is just actually start laying out the road network for our industrial park. So this is a pretty big area, I got to say. It's going to look really good once we get all of this populated. It's mainly going to be, we'll have some bigger factories kind of right here, and then maybe some smaller, more dense buildings kind of closer to the train track. But the key thing about kind of newer industrial parks is actually making it, still using space and not just zoning every single tile. So we're going to build this, with some bigger buildings. We're going to add some abandoned lots, some pavement, some empty lots with some pavement and everything. And we're just going to kind of make this, feel relatively realistic. I'm hoping that we can achieve that with the amount of space that we have. It's always fun to build things like this, when you have like a big blank template like this. So let's just go ahead. We'll lay out some roads, do some zoning, and jump into a bit of a time lapse, and I will talk to you guys in a little bit. All right, and so this is a road layout that I'm relatively happy with for the moment. I'm trying not to go too crazy with the cross streets. Like I said, I want some bigger lots. So if we look here, we have some pretty big areas that we could work with. And, maybe some of these I'll split up into some smaller areas. Like, for example, maybe like this one right here, I can add, like an additional connection or something. But for now, yeah, I'm liking this. I think it's going to look good. Let's go ahead and just jump in and zone out some buildings. So it looks like we actually do have a bit of an issue with the water and power. So I think for now we're gonna or not the water, the water and the sewage. So we're actually gonna turn this off for now because that is a huge consumer of water, and we're gonna actually need to build some additional infrastructure, it looks like, to be able to support this power plant. So we're gonna let this reset for a second. Hopefully it fixes the problem. But yeah, it seems like both of these facilities are overloaded. So we can actually upgrade this to have an extra pump. So we're gonna do that. That's a real nice addition there. And for this, what can we do? We could. So there's actually nothing that increases the capacity of this. So we're actually gonna have to figure out another solution for water treatment. So I think just for now, I hate doing this. I hate it, but we'll just add another outlet right here to double our capacity. But pretty soon we will get to a point where we will be able to actually build a water treatment facility. And I think that would, obviously that's going to be way nicer than just having something like this. I completely hate these. So we'll leave those for now. We'll let that run. Water, yeah, we have more than enough capacity now. So let's go ahead and turn this back on. We'll be able to get our electricity going. Obviously, this will add a huge cost up front. It looks like we have pretty significant. Yeah, so we'll bring this back down to 100. Bring our water and sewage back down to 100. Hopefully, this should be sustainable for us. We'll just let this run for a second. Make sure that it all gets set appropriately. But yeah, now this should balance out our budget a little bit more. So yeah, again, this is a big investment, but I think it's very important for the city. And something that I didn't plan on doing today, but I think after looking at it, it'll be nice for the region to have a more sustainable power source. And we can actually talk about, look at the jump. We can even talk about decommissioning the coal power plant now that we have this. So that would be a win in my book. Another cool thing is, look at this. We're making 120 grand off of education and research. So our tuition fees are really high. We're making some money there. Didn't expect that, but that's pretty cool. But yeah, other than that, let's just go ahead and get back to what we're doing, which is building this industrial park. So as you can see, unemployment rate coming down a little bit, about 3%. So I figured by the time we kind of zone all of this out, it'll be relatively low. And yeah, you can see, like I said, I'm just leaving some open areas, and I'll just kind of detail some of this as we go and then save some detailing for the end. But as long as I can get a lot of the buildings just kind of zoned out, I think it'll be really good to have that all sorted. So let's just finish zoning out this area, and then we'll check back in once we've done that. All right. And that is looking pretty good if I say so myself. I like the little bit of variety that I have in this area. You know, we use some of just these really simple vanilla props to kind of detail some of this up, make some little stockyards and some abandoned lots and everything like that. Added some trees in here in some of these gaps. And I'm liking the way that that looks for now. So demand, well, it was tapering off, but now it seems to have come back. So we'll get back to this in a minute. But I think for now, what I want to do, we have about 11% unemployment rate now, which is still pretty high. I want to get that down to kind of like 7 or below for this episode, but we'll see if we can do that once we zone out like the rest of this and everything. But for now, I want to turn my attention real quick to some of our communications infrastructure. So we have this radio mast, and I think I want to invest in the server farm or the telecom tower. So let's go and purchase those with some development points, since we have tons of that. And actually, I'm going to unlock the post sorting facility as well, so that we can maybe add a post office somewhere over here. I do envision a cargo train station in this area as well, maybe over here or something like that once we get, you know, this track built out, because that will be a huge asset for us, and then we can actually connect to some of the other areas in the region. But in terms of communications, server farm is a big building, and it's going to, I mean, look at the radius of that. That is just so nice. I mean, this is all that we would need for this city for sure, or maybe that and an additional telecom tower. But in terms of, you know, the telecom tower, we should think about putting one of these. I don't know what this radius is humongous. So yeah, you can see it works a little bit better. Actually, I think it seems to work a little bit better, I don't know, on a hill, or it seems like the mountains actually play a part in this, which I didn't know to be the case. I thought this was actually not a thing, that, you know, putting the telecom towers on a hill actually had no effect on the radius of it, but it looks like it actually kind of does. So we might want to think about putting this somewhere over here or something. But for now, I do want to put the server farm down. I would like to put it down over here. And then in terms of a post sorting facility, so we have the small post office. We could put a regular post office, but I want to save that, you know, for kind of some redevelopment purposes over there. For the post sorting facility, this would make sense to put down in an industrial area. So maybe once we kind of don't have the space for it right now. I didn't realize that it was so big, and, you know, I had no ambition to actually think about putting one of these down. But at the very least, we could think about in the future, you know, putting this down kind of over here, or something like that once we expand the city and get a little bit of a cargo area going or something like that. So we'll come back to that at another point. But in terms of the server farm, actually, let's first think about the telecom tower. Upkeep is not too bad, and the range is actually quite significant. So if we get rid of this overlay for now and kind of think of where a logical place to put this would be, it is a big tower, so I don't really want to put it, I don't know, it's kind of like, it's a very prominent structure, and so it doesn't really make a lot of sense to put it, you know, right in a city center. That's why I kind of like the radio mast. It's a lot more subtle. But the telecom tower, you know, you do need things like this, right? And so I think maybe we do just put it somewhere goofy, like on a big hill or something like that. And let me see if I can bring back the overlay. Yeah, there we go. So I don't know, if I put this somewhere like this, would that make sense? Or somewhere, I can't really put it on this hill because we're right by the highway. I mean, honestly, what if we put it over here by the bus depot? So if we think about it, no matter where I put this garage, if I even add an extra garage, we could put it attached to the building. We could put it even not attached to the building. We can, you know, kind of reorganize some of these zones around here and some of these roads to make room for an additional one if we need to. But we have this big open space here that is just kind of, I think it's calling our name to put something like this here. Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of think that wouldn't be too bad of an area to put this, right kind of close to the city, right off of the highway. You know, you see stuff like this all the time. So let's do that. Let's put it here. So we'll just drag out this road. Yep, and again, and that is a very prominent structure, but I figure in the future, you know, this is going to get kind of a hidden by some, you know, skyscrapers and things, and it kind of makes sense to put it right here for now. So you can't actually upgrade this. So there's no upgrades that we can do for that, but I think we can upgrade our radio mast over here. So we can increase the bandwidth. We'll do that. And we'll also add an additional wireless antenna. So now if you look at our coverage, that is way better. Way better than before. I don't even know if we need the server farm anymore, to be honest with you, but I don't think it would be the worst idea to prepare for the future, you know, especially once we build out this area here in this whole city. Having a server farm would probably be a good benefit for the region, and we're making so much money. I mean, I might as well just do it, right? I might as well just put one down. And I mean, look at even the addition that this brings. This is going to be perfect for the rest of the city. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. Might as well. Why not? Why not do something unique here to kind of fill out this large unused plot of land? And of course, I just made it to where I cannot put it right in the area that I want to put it. So let me let's go back to the drawing board here and bring this road out a little bit. I just wanted to connect this road up to this intersection here. I think it makes the most sense. So we'll just do something like this instead. Are you kidding me? Oh man, I cannot catch a break. I cannot catch a break. Leave that. Drag this out. One more. Or it's not gonna let us do that. Great. Great. Okay, you know what? We're leaving it. We're leaving it like that. I don't care. We'll add this in right here. And look at that. That unlocked a signature building for us. So that's cool. One of the Japanese buildings. But yeah, this is a really massive building, and I like the way it looks. It looks, you know, industrial. It kind of fits. It's just like a big warehouse. I actually like it. So we don't need any of this right now. Yeah, I think we're good here. But yeah, barely makes a dent in our budget. Only 40 employees. There is no parking in this building though, so I actually want to go ahead and add some parking. We're going to add some around the back here. So let's just bring this road around. Actually, I'm not going to drag that road all the way out there, and you'll see why in a sec. So let's do something like this, and then we'll add in maybe one of these medium parking lots. I think that should be... Actually, let's go a little bit bigger. Let's go to the moderate parking lot. That'll look a little bit better, I think. Yeah, it does say there's only 40 employees here, which actually seems quite low, but that should be more than enough parking for 40 employees. So we'll leave that there for now. And then in terms of what we're going to do with the rest of this area, I think the rest of this, we're just going to zone out some more industry right here along this road. Do something like that for now. And then we'll kind of finish out this area by just zoning some things along here. And I kind of wish that these buildings faced this alleyway, but I didn't feel like messing with the road. So we're just going to be lazy and just zone it out like that for now. Not going to complain there. It is what it is. It'll be fine. But yeah, I think the last thing that we're going to do is just detail up the area around the server farm. And I think we'll call it an episode here. We've reduced our unemployment to about 8%, which is a little bit, you know, not quite what I wanted, but as these areas, as he's developed, this might drop a little bit here. So doesn't look too bad. Does not look too bad at all. And we have our residential demand back. We're making a ton of money, like I thought we would. And communication infrastructure is fantastic. We actually have some reliable internet service, which we did not have before at all. So communication is looking great. Oh, this server farm should be able to handle the future city that we're going to build here. We have our telecom tower. We have our radio mast, which has been improved. And if we need to add another telecom tower or something, you know, in the future, we will. But for now, I'm liking the way that this has turned out. So let's go ahead, detail this up a little bit, and then we will call it an episode. And yeah, and I think that is going to be it for today. This was a super productive episode. It took quite a while to get all of this built, but you know what? I'm generally happy with the result. We have this, little area here to fill in later. I might do that off camera, and same with like some of this stuff. We'll probably just come back and add to this, as we see fit, as demand for industry, increases. We're still at 8% unemployment, which is not, it's not great, but not terrible considering that it was at 18% before. So this dropped unemployment by 10%, and then now we have to focus on some transit things, some traffic things. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, I want to really kind of improve our infrastructure there in terms of public transit and everything, since population is significantly growing. And we want to make sure that people can get to where they need to go. But anyway, one more thing before I leave, I'm going to put up a poll. When I used to do videos, I used to talk during the time lapse and kind of commentate over that about, what it was doing and why. Since then, that was kind of like during my first City Skylines series. If you remember that, if you were around that long, but since then I've transitioned to just doing commentary outside of the time lapses, and then just having the time lapses with music only. So I want to see what you guys think about me going back to that original format of kind of commentating like now in a live play, and then still doing some commentary over the time lapse as well, kind of explaining why I'm building what I'm building, and kind of just what I'm doing and everything like that. So if you guys think that would be interesting and just entertaining, then let me know, and I will consider doing that in the next couple of videos going forward, and putting some commentary over the time lapse. Otherwise, we'll just keep things as they are. So I'll put up a poll. Let me know. Go ahead and vote. I always appreciate your votes and everything. It really helps me out in terms of figuring out what to do next for the channel. But in the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching. This was such a fun build. I'm really glad to see the city coming together, and this is going to be perfect for the next city that we will build in the relatively near future. So we're laying some important groundwork there. It's going to be really, really fun as this region expands. So hope you guys all have a great rest of your week. New update has been pretty nice. Haven't experienced any crashes yet, fingers crossed. So so far so good. But yeah, city's coming along well, and it's been a lot of fun building. So have a great week. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.